SHIZZIO, the sagas continue. Another week, another special guest. You know what? We're at Redbridge Roundabout right now, and the traffic is mental, but minor. We're gonna do all this for you. West London, I'm that guy. Let's go. Yo, SHIZZIO, it's only right that we invade the borders right now. It's Uncle Rishi. Is it Uncle? I'm gonna give you Uncle status because you're older and wiser. I see you as an older, wiser one. Is that cool? He seems angry already, bro.
All
How
good,
are you, brother?
All good.
Where do we start with you, bruv? Everyone knows Rishi, the name. Everyone knows, you know, the background. Everyone knows where you came from. Where should we start that hasn't been done before? Because you've done numerous shows, and I don't really want to do the typical stuff. So where can one start with you?
I was born in Croydon.
Yeah, there you go. Tell me something that we don't know, bruv.
Thornton Heath.
Yeah.
That's where I was born. Brought up there to the age of about 6, and then moved to West.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all good.
What is better, West or South? Because
I don't think I can say it's better because I haven't lived in South. You know, I've only lived there for 6 years and I don't remember most of it.
Yeah.
So I've lived in West all my life. But yeah, I still go back there. My family are there, so it's all good.
Yeah, and you're here.
Yeah.
All right. Growing up as a kid, Asian kid growing up, was it a lot of Asians around you, or was you kind of segregated? How did it work?
There was a lot of Asians, yeah, because I grew up in Harrow, so you know, so it was. But yeah, I mean, where I lived at that time, we lived in some council estates in South Harrow, and that was quite grimy, and that was you know, quite difficult. Obviously, single parent, single mother. She was working, you know, overtime, so I could kind of do what I needed to do. But I think what kind of took me out of it is I really got into music.
How?
You know.
Why?
I think I've been brought up with a musical family in a sense where it's always been about music at our parties and stuff. My grandmother was a harmonium teacher, so she used to teach me when I used to live in Croydon anyway, and every time I used to go back. So I think it was a case of just, you know, I needed something to focus on and not, you know, kind of get into.
Was you always getting in trouble though? Or
Nah.
was you kind of a scholar, like do your homework and stuff?
I mean, I did what I could, you know, I'm not going to say I was great at, you know, things, but I did what I could, you know, especially in terms of like electrics and computing and design and stuff like that was.
You was a bit of a nerd.
Yeah, that was my thing, you know, I love all that. You know?
And you're proud to say I'm a nerd. Because
Yeah.
there's most man come on TV, I was a bad boy and
I was not a bad boy, no. I used to love, you know, especially things like, you know, making things and, you know, had my soldering iron kit and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I
with the
mean?
copper.
Which everyone did, I think. You know,
No.
everyone went through it.
No, I think it's good because there's not a lot of people that would actually say, you know what, I was kind of into them kind of things.
Which stuff like that, you know what, helped me. You know, when putting together a studio, and if I needed to fix things and stuff like that, you kind of, you know, little things like that have kind of helped me along the way. So.
Because you see, like, I rap, right, and I did English A-level, right? I got an A, by the way, and I really did. But that really helped me construct my rhymes, and there's a lot of kids that kind of think school is useless, that, oh, I want to be a rapper, I want to be into the industry. But the foundation is in school, right?
Of course it is.
And, you know, there's a lot of people that think, sod all that, I don't need that, I want to be famous or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And they kind of forget where that is. So do you think it's important to tell people, like, yeah, hold on, never forget your foundation kind of thing?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think if you're going into the if you want to go into the entertainment field, you know, with me, maths, English, science wasn't my greatest and wasn't my strongest. Yet I still did it, but I really focused on things like drama and music and designing electronics and things like that. So even though, you know, that was part of my school life, you know, and there's people who want to be actors and stuff like that, who want to get into drama, theatre and stuff like that, just focus on doing drama then.
Did you know from a young age, I want to do music, this is it, or was it like a pivotal point that you knew this is the point that I want to do music? Or
No, I just knew I wanted to do music from the age of 4 or 5 years old.
How do you know at the age of 4? Realistically,
I mean, obviously you don't.
music?
You don't know. Like then you don't think, okay, you know what, I'm going to grow up to become a music producer. But you just know, you know what, I love music. If I wasn't doing my homework that I had to do, I was doing music. On the weekends I was doing music. After schools, I didn't used to go out with my friends and go and do whatever they want. I used to stay behind in a music class.
So what were your friends doing?
Smoking, drinking. Do you know what I mean? You know.
And none of that kind of appealed to you?
No.
Didn't you think I want to fit into that crowd kind of thing?
No, I've never been like that. Even now, I am seen a bit of a kind of nerd with my mates and stuff like that because I do what I kind of want to do, you know?
Just do you, that's it.
Just do me, man.
All right, let me fast forward, bruv. Obviously, the Rishi Rich project, massive. Everyone knows about it. Was it the whirlpool that the media kind of says it was and is kind of thing?
Listen, look, I'm going to be 36 this year. Me, Jay, and Juggy met when we were 26.
Yeah.
10 years ago. When
Right,
you're 26, you know, I was working. I didn't go university, so straight after college, I went straight into music. Do you know what I mean? I got a job.
Let me just cut to that. Sorry to interrupt. For someone who's a nerd, or not a nerd, but likes his education, what made you that choice that I am not going to go to university? Because most of us are kind of bred with, if I didn't go to uni, I got beats. Do you get me?
Yeah. Okay, let's put it this way. I got into university.
Yeah.
You know, into Middlesex University. I got into there. I went
It was a crap uni anyway.
Yeah, I went to the Wood Green.
God, I was there, bruv.
Yeah. So I
Ain't
went
no
there,
good, bruv.
and I came home and I said to my mum, you know what, this is all good, and I got into computer science, and you know, it was great actually what I got into. But for me, you know, I have to thank my mum because I was like, look, you know, I don't want to do this. I really want to focus on music, you know, and by the time I was 18, I kind of learned about composition. You know, a lot of my friends went the DJing, you know, route. I kind of went, you know what, I want to learn about making music. I want to learn about studios and stuff. So I just got a job in a music recording studio in Harrow. And what the good thing was that he used to say, look, here's the keys and do what you want. So I used to kind of just stay there and work. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to focus on this. And I'm going to really, you know, put my all into it. You know, it was never going to be a hobby for me. And I just said that to my mum. And she was like, you know what, just do what you got to do.
I respect that. All right, 10 years of the Rishi Rich project, you're saying. Give me some stories, man. I want the stories.
I don't think there's anything new going to come out because, to be fair, Jay was, you know, he was just new. He was a fresh kind of person on the scene. It all hit us, you know, like from 1 minute being in this room recording to, you know, 8 months later going to MTV India, performing, being on Top of the Pops, Nickelodeon, all this stuff. We were doing so much stuff. Obviously, you either go this way, you go that way, you know. But what we did is we had fun. But look at the people we were around. Like you had Juggy, he's crazy, you know. He's a nutcase.
What's the craziest thing you have seen him do?
Okay, I remember one thing. We were in MTV, and imagine Dance With You just came out. So we were in India, and he invited the whole club back to his suite. And we had an MTV performance the next day. So me and Jay walked into his room, and there was a crazy party going on. And I chucked the head of MTV and everyone out of his room. And it was kind of like, I remember just getting Juggy, and he'll probably say, I grabbed him, I said, your album's going to flop, you know, if you keep on doing stuff like this, you know what I mean? And he was like, and he literally, I think he was going to start crying, you know. And, but, you know, so much stuff happened on tour. I imagine we spent, you know, we went through four passports together. You know, we went around the world over and over again, you know. Do
you think that era was just, were you the right people in the right place at the right time? Or was it just down to, like, I don't know, because on this side, people say it was just a niche that happened to just sweep the world. And you guys were part of it. The other side would say it was just raw talent. It was destiny. It was talent. They had to do it. Do you know what I mean? Even if
there was a lot of people, remember, at that time.
Yeah.
There wasn't just us. There was a lot of people. But I think that the three of us individually had something special to put into the pot. You know, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you know, it was luck and stuff like that. I had been grafting since, you know, all my teenage years and stuff like that. And I've been perfecting my craft, which is production. I didn't want to be in the videos. I got no interest in performing. I'm not a DJ. I'm a producer. So by the time that stage came, I could produce a song comfortably and know exactly what I needed to do, and I think relate with the British Asian scene, because what I was doing was no different to what I was doing when I was 11 and had that keyboard. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying you deserved that spotlight at that time?
I'm not saying I said that's what
I worked for. In
terms
of like your dues, you would put in your dues.
Yeah, I mean, I worked for that. You know, I worked for that, and it was amazing because when you've worked so hard in perfecting. Remember one thing with me, I never went out and said I'm going to become a Punjabi Desi producer, or I'm going to do just R&B. My thing was, you know what, I love R&B. I love Punjabi music. I grew up on the Chanak Sahotas. These were my people, Bali Sagoo. I love Teddy Riley. I love all these people. So my sound is going to be an influence of what I like. And till now, to the remix I'm doing right now, to when I started when I was 11, every bit of my music has got that fusion in it. and I haven't stepped away from that.
So you're saying your sound is your sound. It's not a specific genre. If someone said this is kind of a banger tune, are you saying they can't put your music in a box kind of thing?
They can. They put it in my box. It's my sound.
But what would you say to someone that would put it in a non-Rishi box and puts it in an R&B box or a banger box?
It's a fusion.
Do you not care?
It's not about caring. I think it's just a case of like
Because people love to.
They love to pigeonhole.
Pigeonhole.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we had all that when we were kind of on the other side. You know, when we were trying to get our music played on mainstream radio, they're like, well, it's not pop and it's not this, and I'm like, okay, what is it then? You know, so people love to do that, but I think good music is good music, and a good song is a good song.
Let me talk about pigeonholing then. I mean, how was it for you? I need an honest opinion, you know, as being an Asian in the game, you know what I mean, trying to cross over, you know what I mean, getting away from the Asian market per se. I mean, it's good to start from that. What's your experiences being an Asian person doing kind of non-Asian music as well?
It's my experiences have been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because I've never said, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I do and let me see where that takes me. You know, I've seen other people that have tried to kind of jump on, you know, this style of music is big right now, so I'm gonna do a track like that, or this is big, I'm gonna do a track like that. You know, I couldn't do grime music because I don't know anything about it. And if someone comes to me, yeah, Rish, we need a grime mix, I'm like, well, nah, go to that person. I do what I do, you know, and hence the reason where I'm at right now is the most time in my life, because I've got a great situation going on, is because I've always stuck to my sound, I think.
Right, we're going to go to advert. We'll be back. Sagas continue. Back on the other side, SHIZZIO Saga, the legendary Rishi Rich. We're in his studio. I came to the studio years ago, 5-6 years ago. It looks pretty much the same without me sounding rude in the essence that you've kept the same essence.
Yeah.
Talk me through your studio real quick, man. Obviously, proud to see, you know,
yeah, I mean,
H there and J there.
This room is gone, you know, is where I started. I haven't really changed much because, you know, one, I work a lot from another studio. But I love the kind of vibe and the energy in this room. But yeah, this just it's more homely. I mean, I got my pictures up there.
I see keyboards there that are quite frankly battered.
Yeah. This.
I can't really see that being used. Person.
It works. Trust me.
Does it work?
It works. But this was the Rishi Rich Project tour keyboard. So everyone signed it wherever we went. This went everywhere on me on tour. This was crazy because everything I used to produce, I used to just sample it up, and then we used to do. If you see stuff on, you know, on the web, and you can see how our show was. It was just straight up kind of beats, and it was crazy.
So if that was to go on eBay, how much would that be worth?
I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
You tell me, bruv. It's got all your memories in it. Is
it
priceless?
I think it is. I think it will be something that, you know, now I'm going to be moving to another studio, I think this will be in the reception, in a glass box.
In a glass box.
Where the pictures.
Do not touch.
I mean,
alarm case.
Yeah. I mean, not alarm case, but I think what would be nice, whether it's at home or in another studio, is to have pictures from different countries where it's been. Do you know what I mean? And because what happened, this started getting famous. I'm not even joking. When I used to take it on tour, and the promoters and stuff, obviously they'd known about this keyboard because it was crazy what I used to do with it. As soon as I used to open it, people were like, wow, I started taking pictures of it and stuff like that. So it's kind of, it became famous itself, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I might just take that with me then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm going to eBay that. But all right, brother, let me talk about music now, man. The music's changed so dramatically. You've seen, I don't know, Facebook to Twitter. You've seen the evolution in your eyes from someone. You've seen the internet now grow.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on all that, man? Are you kind of old school in the fact that music's not what it was? And
no, I mean, I don't. I think it's there's, you know, if you look at all the people now that are touring, people are going to Australia to perform. People are going to South Africa to Africa. You know, their music's not sold there. It's because of the internet. So it's good for you know, performers and artists, because I think they're getting out there to reach their fans, because there is fans of this industry we've got around the world. And you know, before you relied on shops that were around the area, but the internet has helped. Obviously there's that one angle of there's illegal downloading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't see a lot of artists kind of complaining when they're in Australia performing and getting paid for it. You know, so there's two angles for it. For a producer, it's a case of a lot of people, a lot of other artists have heard your sound. They can get to your sound quicker. Do you know what I mean? If you need to show them videos and stuff like that, or what you've done, they can hear that, and it just generates more work. So I think you just move with the time, man. You just have to just do what you do.
So you haven't got the old school mentality like that?
No.
What about the sound of music right now? It's all electro, everything over chart music is just, to me, it seems like it's all electro, it's all pretty samey, if I'm honest with you.
It is, yeah.
Are you kind of someone that feels like, I mean, do you kind of have to make them kind of beats now to be heard as well?
No, I mean, I've always been into dance and electro and R&B and stuff like that, so I mean, my new album's got nothing of that. Do you know what I mean? It's all slow and it's all kind of world music and very rich sounding. Yeah. But some remixes I do, yeah. If I got and put an element of, but it's got to work with my sound. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to completely go off the radar and to try and do something, you know, think about what's working in the charts and stuff, because I think, you know, that's not really the way I work. But, you know, music just changes all the time. But there's an element of pop music which will always be there, even though the underneath and the, you know, the kind of scaffolding of these tracks are, you know, a dance music. The top line is always going to be pop. So you strip that music and you play that song with a guitar, you've got a pop song. So it always starts from the song and the melody. You know, music can be changed. You know. So
what kind of artists are you feeling right now, worldwide, like that are doing their thing? Producers as well.
I mean, I'm still a big fan of people like Usher and, you know, and Busta Rhymes and people like that. And, you know, because I think what they've done is they've just elevated with time. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've, you know, Usher from getting signed when he was 16 or whatever, still can get #1 in America a couple of weeks ago, you know. And Busta just, you know, he obviously came back, he's got re-signed. And I think people like that I love, you know, in the Asian industry. I mean, you know, obviously Jay's doing his thing. I love that, you know, about what the hustle because he's still on the hustle, you know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Jay.
He's still on the hustle. Within this industry here, you know, I don't really have a top 3 because I salute everyone that's trying to do something in this industry. You know, there are people who, if you're chasing the fame, then go and get the fame and then go and get a job. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. If you're chasing longevity in this industry and you want to put something towards it, then yeah, I salute you.
It's a cutthroat industry, right? The Asian industry, especially because it's so small.
Of course.
Especially here, everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, I feel sorry for new artists.
Yeah.
I really do.
Why?
Because I think
Asian artists or just new?
I'm going to talk about Asian artists because I'm not going to talk about an industry that I'm not 100% fully in.
That's real.
You know, so, you know, new artists. When we started, you know, Asian radio stations, Asian TV channels. If it was good, they played it. You know, with now you have the whole thing about, you know, you have to pay to get your stuff on TV, you know, which I understand because the radio stations the TV stations are probably, they need to make money. So I understand that point. But it's very difficult for a new artist, you know, that hasn't got much funding, that has to get videos done. And then it kind of backfires because then the quality of videos go down and then that's your benchmark. Do you know what I mean? And it's a case of like, you know, right now to be in this industry, if you haven't got a label behind you, you have to have either a lot of friends who can do things like videos for you and make them look good. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A lot of producers who can make your stuff sound very good. A lot of people in PR who can do free stuff for you, and probably a friend at a radio station and a TV station that can slip your track in and get it played. Which for me, it defines the essence of good music, because now it's all about people you know or how much money you've got. Which is a difference. Because
so it's a dying breed. You're saying that Asia.
I don't think it's. I think
it's dying slowly. It's not dead.
It's not. I mean, one thing
definitely I have, not what it was.
It's definitely not what it was. But I've got to say one thing is that it's when we were on the other side, you know, with mainstream TV stations, we faced the same thing, you know, but it's on a bigger scale. You don't kind of hear it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you look at people like, you know, the big record companies, if they've got a #1 artist in the world and they've just signed a new artist, they will say to that TV station, you know what, we won't give you
that artist until you give us this.
Until you promote this artist. So it happens everywhere, really.
So it's nothing new, really.
It's nothing new, but it's new in our industry, you know.
So how was it back in the day? It was just love.
It was love.
Was it because there wasn't enough of you?
No, there wasn't. Look, I think there was. Look how many Bhangra bands there were. Look how many.
Yeah, but let's say, you know, the R&B kind of trend that was happening with you, Jay, and all that. After Jay, obviously, I suppose Ragef.
Yeah.
But how many kind of singers were there like that, really?
Not many, yeah.
So in kind of essence, you were something fresh. They had to embrace it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it was something new.
Yeah.
And now,
a lot of people
there's R&B singers everywhere.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, you know, going back to the point.
Yeah.
My point was that. You know, it's very hard for new artists right now. That's why I'm a firm believer of that. You know, I'm always going to keep that door open behind me and bring people forward and bring people with me. Or bring people to say, you know what, I can't really do nothing with you, but you know what, that person can, so good luck and go and do your thing, you know.
You talk about bringing people through. Obviously, you brought through H. Dami, you brought through Mumsy. Now, obviously, a lot of politics with this. Now, I'm going to bring it up, bruv, and feel free to answer what you need to, but I'm going to bring it up because I am. But obviously, it's a big story with, you know, Mumsy leaving you in your camp and taking Junaid and essentially backstabbing and whatnot. I mean, what kind of happened, bruv? It's just something you can tell. I know you're a very diplomatic guy. I've met you numerous times. And you're not really interested in doing anything like that. But if there's anything you need to kind of bring out in the open,
yeah, I'm diplomatic, but I'm honest.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, it's about the music.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Which technically answers a lot of my question.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So one thing is, Junaid was never a part of me. He came to the academy. And at that time, you know what the thing is?
Your academy, right?
Yeah, the Rishi Academy, yeah.
Right.
So obviously at that time, I was in America anyway, so when I came back, it was a case of, look, you know, and I always look at, you know, I look at it from my point of view, but I look at it from the artist's point of view. Do you know what I mean? Mumsy leaving wasn't a case of him leaving, he just had to go and do his own thing. Do you know what I mean?
But then this story is that his management or whatever the management
his management,
had, you were all one.
We were one, yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
in essence took him and they took and split with you.
Yeah.
Why?
Control, more control, you know. I remember I was sitting, you know, when it's Rishi Rich Productions, it's me.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, think, you know what, everything we do, I'm always going to be that person, you know, that's going to be controlling stuff, which is not true. So some people have to split away and find their own feet. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's the same situation I had with the Timbaland camp. You know, I believe no other producer under Timbaland will ever be as big as Timbaland. Yeah. Unless he breaks through and does his own thing. And I think everyone needs to, you know, if the thing is, if after I took Mumsy from not being in the industry, 5 years developing him, and now I guess there's a point where he's probably going to think, you know what, I need to go and try my own thing and be in control of my whole kind of road and where I want to go and pick my management. Yeah, at the time you think, okay, you know what, I've done this and I've done that, but then you think, yeah, I'll take a step back and go, just go and do your thing, because for me, you know, it's all about this room. It's all about what I do.
But is it a case of you was bitter at the time because of the time you put in, but now it's a case of whatever, I've still got Rishi and what I'm doing kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's not, one thing is that I don't get bitter. I get, because I get emotionally involved with my artists.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
you know
see, yeah, obviously.
You know,
yeah.
so it's not a case of like, okay, hello, produce a track, okay, bye.
Yeah.
It's a case of, you know, stay over, you know, we jam in the other studio, you know, we really connect, because a producer-artist relationship is really important.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, you put a lot of time into it. It's not just even with artists, it's with management. I've been through like 6, 7 managements, you know, in my career, is because of that same problem, is because, you know, and more than many, I'm the one who's left, because I reached that brick wall and say, you know what, I think you've done a lot for me now, and I need to now go and do something else.
So, do you blame him for doing that then?
Nah, not all.
It's kind of the growth. It's like artist gets as far as he's got to go. He has to, in essence, a child gets older, he has to leave home.
There you go.
Is that it, basically?
That's it.
So there's no animosity, everything's cool, yeah?
That's it.
That's probably the best way I can describe it. Because
That's
a lot of people, this, that and the other, obviously you hear loads of stuff.
Of course.
As you're here, might as well just, you
that's
feel what I'm
it.
saying?
Everyone's just got to do their own thing, man, and just be blessed and be happy, and, you know, and
vibes.
And it's all, and I always will say this, it's all about your music. Simple as that. It's about your music, it's about what you do, it's about your direction. I'm in a great place right now. And someone told me the other day is that even the bad things are good for you. Even things that you think at the time are bad.
What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger,
well,
right?
now I'm the most content I've ever been in my own career. I've just signed 2 management deals. You know, I'm the most
see the
happiest.
X6 outside, private number plate. Times are good.
I wouldn't say times are good. Times are great. They're amazing.
Yeah.
It's because, you know what, I'm in a good place right now.
Talk is cheap, innit? We're in Rishi Rich camp right now. I want to hear something, innit? So let's see what's going on, Rishi.
Come.
How does it work, though? How does it work when you start making a beat and stuff?
If I'm making a song, I'll always start here. I don't record from here. This is solely for playing. This is here just for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll just start playing. So I'll just start getting a vibe.
Did you ever take lessons, or is it just you just learned
Just
yourself?
Indian music I did, but not like English.
So let's say you got a vibe and like
Yeah.
I don't know, you want to make it a bit more up.
Okay, so basically then I'll take that vibe
Right.
and
So the same sound on that keyboard is now on this keyboard. Yeah, of course. And you're just gonna loop it and look how quick he's doing. You're just layering it with different drums. He's working so fast, I can't keep up. The speed of what he's working is crazy. I can't keep up. With what he's doing.
hold on, obviously it's the sample.
Auto-tune.
Yeah, but this I'm using the
it's all
sample in
good.
it.
Look at that. How quick? 5 minutes? There you go, basically. It's as easy as that. Back on the other side, Rishi Rich in the studio.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future, man. What
Yeah,
does it
man.
hold, man? What's going on? A lot of people may have seen that Rishi's not the same that he was, etc., etc. What do you say to that, firstly?
Same.
People say, oh, Rishi isn't the same, that era's dead, it will never come back. What do you say to people like that?
That era was that era, you know. I was a part of that era. I don't know. I don't know what people mean by that, you know.
No, I'm just
It's a
playing
weird
the
thing.
devil's advocate.
Future,
in
yeah. I mean,
that.
I've just signed a deal with Kick It Management. They manage Prince, so you know, officially my manager now is Prince's manager. So that's a good thing. You
That's
know?
a massive thing, bro.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And I've just signed a deal with Carving Dreams in India, who manage Hrithik Roshan, Bipasha, Saif Ali Khan, Ajay Devgan. They manage them like solely as artists, and I'm the first producer, let alone being from India, but the first producer they've taken. So my whole dream about, you know what, I want to sit in UK and I want to get America going, I want to get India going, and I want UK to bubble, kind of let me do my thing, is that's what's happening.
Is it a case of, because people don't see what you're doing behind the scenes, they kind of feel like, oh, he's fallen off or he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing? Do you think it's out of sight, out of mind for some people because they don't know the ins and outs of the industry?
I think a lot of people don't know about music.
Yeah.
In the sense where, you know, I've had 3-4 tracks out a year, you know, constantly. But there's Miss Pooja stuff, or the MIA thing, or Brita Bal stuff, or, you know, H's stuff, and my own album I'm working on. You know, so it's a case of like I've just always been working and doing my thing, and I've moved away a bit from the scene because I'm concentrating a lot more on things like theatre and films. You know,
I'm getting a sense that you're not really bothered of having the big name anymore. You're more than happy to just have your name in the credits and just do your work of something that you love to do. Is that a case?
I think it's a case that I just want to. I love challenges. So, you know, my whole thing now, I've been approached to do films in India. I'm going to LA. You know, I'm going to be staying out there for a few months.
Are you kind of happy that, like, do you want that big name, like a kind of Timberland super producer, or are you content now with just making the music and let it do it?
No.
So it's not always about Rishi made this. You're happy to produce for other people and, in essence, take a kind of backseat stance.
Nah, I think my whole direction now is to go fully forward. I mean, there's nothing in the agency, and there's nothing more I can do. You know, and I'll openly say that. There's nothing more I can achieve because I've achieved everything I wanted to and everything I can.
Is there anything left in the agency?
I don't know. You know, it's always forever changing. You know, but I've completely been, you know, grateful for the agency and for what they've done, and it's got me to a level where now it's about the next level.
Yeah. And what is that next level?
Well, it's going to America. Like I said, I'm just doing a few films there, doing some theatre work. Going to India, you know, working on my own album, which is something which is not really. I'm looking at it as, oh, it's going to be, you know, something I've just enjoyed doing that the last 4 years, you know, because I've got every single artist that I, you know, admire from the Asian industry on it, you know, and because I've worked on everyone else's stuff, so it's a case of like, yeah, now I'm loving music. You know, I'm enjoying producing for different people.
Is it kind of not a job? You just love it?
It's never been a job. It's never been a job. It comes to a point where, yeah, you know, if it's not making money for you, then it's a problem, you know, because if you're going to do music as a career, but you're not financially secure, and I think that's where a lot of people in this industry do get messed up. Like they might be number one in the charts, and they might be getting mobbed by people, but you know what? If you're not living well and if you're not comfortable, then there's an imbalance, you know, of, you know, and a lot of people say, oh yeah, because we don't get paid royalties or we don't get paid this. I'm not being funny, but you know what? If you're good, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. You have a demand, you know. And for me, is that I won't be doing, you know, I won't be in this industry I never wanted to be in this industry to be famous. I've got no interest in fame. Do you know what I mean? My thing is about doing music, providing for my family, being financially secure, and that is it. And that's where it ends.
Bottom line.
That's where it ends. I've got no interest. A lot of people love the fame, you know, but they've probably got nothing in their bank.
Well, let's talk about family, bruv. I see the ring on the finger, brother.
Tidim, yes.
Married now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you're loving it. I've seen you a few times with your missus, very proud. You know, this is my missus, very proud, open. You know, I can feel that happiness in you.
Feel the love, yeah?
No, I actually can. You know, I actually can. Like, I see you after a long time. I think it was the Brazier pre-party in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And you had the spring in your step. Like, I hadn't seen you for a while.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, this is my fiance. And
yeah, I mean, you know, to be honest, last year was a rough time for me because of the whole company split. You know, because of the whole Rishi production, things that I'd built up, and artists going this way, doing this, doing that. And for me, I had to stop for a minute. Do you know what I mean? And I had to just take a step back. And then, you know, lucky I kind of met Marina, and she kind of, you know, took me away from all the BS.
would you say she was the solitude that you needed, kind of?
I think she was just a great thing at that time, and, you know, it kind of made me focus on, you know what, I'm just going to focus on myself. And since that day, that's what I've done. I'm thinking about me. You know, it's about my brand. It's about me. It's about my family. And getting married was just an amazing thing in itself. And you know, it's just made me think differently about, you know, my work, my music, and you know, and my whole attitude towards things. You know?
Towards life in general.
Yeah, I think I used to be kind of very, you know, I used to work day and night, one, party crazy, you know, work with anyone, take people under my wing, trust them, this and that. Now I'm like, nah, you know, I work hard, but I go home and I have a great life.
You switch off at a certain time.
But you know what it is? I have a great life away from work, from music. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I have a balance. You know, I do things which are normal. You know, I since not getting married, I didn't used to go to theatre or go to the fun fair, let's say. You know what I mean? Or go shopping and stuff like that.
So you're finding that missing part of you that was
yeah, I guess so, because I've always just worked. You know, I've always worked, and I think it's kind of it's just put a great, you know, it's all about getting a balance in it.
You kind of regret not kind of doing it sooner.
No, I don't regret anything.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. Even the bad stuff is good, man.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you?
I don't think anything bad is like anything drastic has ever happened to me. In the sense where it's, you know, it's everything that has happened to me in this industry has just been a learning thing.
Just a learning curve.
Yeah.
It's stronger and stronger. He sucks the energy. Right. Let's talk about Jay, innit, bro. We have to. It's only right. I mean, people are going to mob me. Why don't you talk about Jay? I don't want to get it in the neck. See you on Twitter with Jay, and it's good to see you still talking to him. A lot of rumours before they don't talk, and etc. What's it like, man? Seeing Jay do what he's doing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, you know, it's another artist that I took under, and he's gone and done his thing, and it's amazing. You know, I've been spending a lot of time with him every time I've been in America, and I can see. I think if you don't see Jay, if you don't kind of see the real him, you know, you see what you see in the press or, you know, from face value. He's still working very hard, you know, and it's really difficult for him. You know,
when you say difficult, how?
It's difficult in the sense
a lot
where
of people are like, oh, he's cash money, he's made it, done.
Yeah, no, I think he's got that backbone, which is amazing. But he's working. I've never seen him work that hard because, you know, he's in a place where you know, in America it's very it's difficult.
Yeah, it's huge.
You know, it's huge, and every other week there's another artist who's singing pop R&B that's coming out. You know, so I guess you know, he's just always got to maintain that mark. You know, having a number one is great, but now he's got to sustain that. You know.
Why do you think there's not been another Asian to kind of cross over like that? You know, what's kind of lacking from our scene? Why, why do we not see that?
Without a doubt, Jay is probably one of the most Asians that I've seen with talent.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, and I'll say that straight up. You know, in terms of a songwriter, in terms of singer, just his whole vibe is great. You know.
But would you say it's fair to say there's non-Asians with less talent that are getting further?
Of course.
So in that essence, why is there no Asians apart? Why is Jay the only Asian that
I mean,
we are, as like kids are seeing on TV in the actual music industry?
you see, one thing Jay did, he made a sacrifice. You know, he went to America,
Yeah.
lived rough for 2 years, literally. You know, and just hustled.
Yeah.
So if you've got that in you, then yeah, I guess there's opportunities. You know, there's
But
opportunities.
it's like it's been all these years and there's no one can see anyone. Do you understand?
You need to ask Apache Indian that. There's still not been anyone who's done what he's
Apache,
done.
there you go, boom.
You know, so it's it's a
but-
cycle, isn't
but
it?
why is it though? Like, is there any kind of solution or answer why do you know what I mean? Like, there's people say that Asians just don't get that opportunity.
That is probably a reason as well. You know, but
Would you say it's a feasible answer to say that, given your experience, that Asians don't get the same opportunities as others? And you're not throwing a race card here, I understand that. But in your experience, do you feel that Asians don't get the same opportunity as others? Or it's a little bit harder?
I can't answer that because I've never had that situation. If I want to go and get something, I will go and get it.
But if you look at it on paper, would you say it's kind of the proof is in the pudding? There's since been 2 Asians, Apache Indian and Jay Sean, since this music thing in terms of that market. No, and it's been how many years? 20, 30 years, and we still haven't seen anyone. Would you say, or would you say there's a problem with our scene in kind of pushing them to get to that point? Because obviously Jay had to grind for 2 years, but he had to get there first. He had to get to LA first.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jay's, you know, he put 7 years into the Asian industry, you know, and working hard for it. But there's many artists now that, you know, I've worked hard for it and have got a great fan base. It's, you know what it is, I'll tell you as well what it is, you know, what was a massive difference with us, and I will say us because we were obviously together, but especially with Jay, is because we had a management, one that was non-Asian, that were from the mainstream.
Yeah.
So I think that helped us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I was doing remixes for Craig at that time, and Craig's A&R came down to the studio and he met Jay and he met Juggy and he saw the chemistry and he goes, okay, I'm going to manage you. So we had someone with a vision from that world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That could say, you know what? And it was a case of like, even when we did Dance With You, the version you hear isn't the version we did. Do you know what I mean? It was quite different. Where that guy said, actually, you know what? Change that because, you know, Kiss would like this or Radio 1 would play this. Not talking about the Asian stations. He was like, change this.
Yeah,
this is
the other world. Yeah.
The other world. We were like, no, this is what we're feeling.
Do you kind of feel like the other world has closed its windows to our world?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Do you think it's like a trend when like the Punjabi MC tune comes in and people use it as like a fashion and you know you can come into this market.
You're gonna get
and go.
I guarantee you, there's probably a Chinese presenter like you,
Yeah.
right, in China, who's probably having a conversation with a Chinese producer and saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's
but do you
for
understand
them to sort out.
Yeah,
I'm trying to sort out this
but
issue.
what I'm trying to
you know what I'm
say
saying?
is that you know, it's not a case of like our stuff is always going to be a novelty factor. Yeah, you're going to have 1 or 2 tunes that are going to break through. You know what I mean? You're going to see stuff on adverts and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Bangra thing and
Yeah.
all that and
Yeah.
the Bollywood thing.
But I guess it's a case of like, you know, Jay's done his thing. Maybe the artist coming through shouldn't imitate what he's doing and try something different. You know, because when you got to remember when the reason why did Jay get signed to Virgin is because he came with this whole, you know, it wasn't just him, it was Juggy. So he came with this whole Punjabi English thing, which hasn't been done. Do you know what I mean? So we tapped into something that wasn't done at that time. So I would think that if there's a guy who sings R&B, maybe try something different. Because
but in 2012, what hasn't been done?
But then,
Do you get what I'm saying? Any ideas for anyone out there? A youngster might be saying, "Yo,
but
because this is the master." You feel me?
That's I think it's a case of everyone's just got you got to think out of the box. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think a lot of it is just down to luck and destiny?
There's obviously an element of luck.
How much of an element is that?
There's at least half of it is an element of luck. Man.
Yeah, it isn't.
But you have to be talented.
No,
as well.
but kind of at least you're honest with that because I kind of see that.
Of course,
like, it's destiny.
without a doubt.
There's kind of factors that you can't control that a bigger team, a bigger A&R, with money, etc. Money and that injection can kind of solve all them problems.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. You know, it is a case of like, you know, my career has been based on situations I've been in, people I've met that, I've gone from here to there, met this person, done this, that person doing that, do that, do that, do that. It's not been a case of, I'm just going to go and do this by myself. Because it won't happen.
It's just luck and destiny.
And being at the right time.
It's just a cohesion of different elements. And unless them elements come in,
it's everything.
It's gonna fail.
Everything. And even when Jay went to America, he yes, he hustled, but there was an element of, he met a producer who introduced him to Cash Money, and then bang, bang, bang. So it's a case of that. He wouldn't have predicted that if he hadn't gone there. That would never happen.
Yeah.
So, I would just say there's a lot of, there's a lot of artists out there that are, non-Bhangra artists that are just doing what they love. They love R&B, and the struggle and the frustration is probably why when they have to put their stuff up on the internet, they're trying to holler at A&R people, they're not getting back to them. I hear that from all these artists. But it's a case of like, what do? Do you just stop, or do you just carry on? Do you go to America? If you want to make it in America, do you want to go to America? If you want to make it in India, you go to India. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think our scene here is united enough to bring through artists? Or do you think a lot of artists, because I get a vision that people got the mentality that there's only room for one Asian artist through that door, and so everyone's kind of fighting to get through that door. Whereas if you look at like a grime market, they built it up to a point together.
Yeah.
To the point where A&Rs had to come to them.
I agree with you there.
And do you feel like people that are backstabbing each other to just try and push to get through that door?
I don't think there's a backstabbing situation. I can talk about, obviously, when the whole Jay and Raghav thing at that time, right?
Oh yeah.
Was very kind of like, okay, you've got Jay who's doing his thing, you've got Raghav who's doing his thing. They're technically two different type of songwriters, two different type of singers. Yet the Asian industry was always making them fight, or always criticizing both of them. Do you know what I mean? Where there wasn't that support for, let's give them both support.
How annoying was it to see non-Asians comparing the two as if as though they were the same people?
Yeah, of course.
Annoying, right?
Yeah.
But why does that happen?
Listen, if you don't know about it, you're going to compare it. I don't know about grime music. You put 10 grime artists in front of me,
that's real.
right? And I will say, what, you sound like him. What's the difference? I don't understand.
No, I like that.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm not dissing. I'm just saying that.
No, that's actually a perfect answer, bro.
I'm just looking at it from
me think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from you look the same, you dress the same, you talk the same. You might be great in your own right, and you might have your own fan base, but what is the difference? Because I'm not from that industry. Yeah, if you throw Malkit Singh and Apna Sangeet, to Radio 1, they're going to say they're both the same. Not really, because Malkit is pop and Apna Sangeet has done his own kind of vibe. So Jay and Raghav at the time, of course they're going to be compared as the same, because they're like, you're the Asian Craig David, and this is the Asian Usher, or this is the Asian, and one thing that the stigma, that the stereotype is like, I'm the Asian Timbaland. I'm not really. I just do what I do, and I love Timbaland, but I'm not the Asian Timbaland. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, and I think the Asian industry plants that as well on you. Like people say, or if you look at a lot of rhymes, Rishi Rich, the Asian Timbaland, and then when that press release or that wording goes to to the mainstream, they're like, well, if we want Timbaland, we're going to get Timbaland.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Real talk. I love it. All right, brother. I think that's about it, really. I just want to say thank you, man. Appreciate you coming down. Appreciate you having us on the Sagas. Is there any kind of final message you'd say to any of the youth, really, that are kind of watching and aspire to be in this red chair, bruv, the Morpheus chair?
This is the chair with no handle. Do you know what I mean? In case you fall off. No, you know what? Just keep on doing your thing, man. I really what's the word? I really kind of stress that, now, like, equipment is obviously,
accessible.
You don't have to have a studio this big.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can do something with, with your laptop and stuff. And my thing is just learn to play music, because that's helped me a lot. If you, I can only talk from a producer point of view. I don't dance and sing and stuff like that, so I don't know from an artist.
Yeah.
But from a producer point of view, just keep on. I mean, this Sahil over there, he's a new producer that I've just taken on. And he just sits with me, and and I'll tell him the same things. Is that, what, just keep focused, and and find the sound, find your sound.
Passion first, basically.
Of course, man.
If you're here for money, forget it.
No, that will come.
Yeah, but if you're here for money, forget it. Like, if you're coming to say, I want to be
or fame,
rich.
you can go, the Asian industry, you can become famous like that.
Yeah. Well, it's not really fame, is it, in the scheme of things?
It's not fame, but you can be well known
Yeah.
in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
But if you want to structure your career, then you've got to just do it in the right way, and that just means working with people, you know, producing stuff, you know, beats, showing your beats, and it's, you know, the things like Twitter and Facebook, because you know, people are so accessible now.
That's right.
So, you know, get your show reel up, and, you know, and just send out stuff.
Get your game up. Right, that's Rishi. Sagas continue later.